Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
To be honest with you guys, if we will look at that with sort of conservative approach, then it may be treated as like a standard correction after rather sharp rise. So we had this low before. If this would be the low, the next low, then it's higher, it's okay, we can grow from that. We can reach the new high, maybe like 6,600 or 700, and then the new low will be like 6,400 or 500. This is Coinbase, by the way, and that would be fine. That would be a reasonable, slow but sustainable growth. Another thing is that we may actually go lower than that, and then if this new low will be below 6,200, then it may be a signal for a lot of the players in the market to sell and become bearish, and those which are not patient or they don't expect long-term rally upwards. So yeah, they can sell. But in my sort of, I have a feeling, let's say, call it like that, I have a feeling that the overall sentiment in the market is more bullish than bearish. And a lot of people, if they look at the price and say, okay, if it will go below 6,200, I will definitely buy more. If they say, okay, if it go to 6,000, I absolutely will buy more, because I don't believe it will go even lower, and I believe that will be a bounce from that level. And there's not so many people who say, yeah, the 6,000 is sort of the level which was tested so many times. Now it is really time to break it. It will happen within like a month or something, and we will see the new low like 5,000, 3,000 or whatever, and we'll wait for those levels. We will not buy if it will go below 6,000. We'll wait even lower prices. So I don't think that there are so many people thinking in this way. And this is again like, the more we test it, 6,000, the more likely it will be broken. However, the more we test it and the more we bounce off of that, the psychologically, people don't think that it can happen. Although it's technically it's more reasonable, but psychologically people think no, we will. It's solid. We will stand there, and this is just the perfect time to buy before the next rise. And also looking at this long consolidation period, they would say, oh, it's actually the time to rise finally, considering all our rambling about this before. Yeah, it's time to rise, and maybe if we will not buy 6,000 now, then we will not be able to get this perfect prices, sweet prices anytime soon. So, and on the other hand, if the price will go higher, like higher than 6,500 or something, make a new high, then again the same overall bullish sentiment narrative in the market will play in a positive way, and people will say, okay, we didn't go even a bit lower, we didn't make a lower low. It seems that the trend is actually positive, so we need to jump into this train right now before it's not too late. And they will, and it will make a new like fuel for the market, and we'll have even higher prices. And that was actually sort of happened before, when we've seen some rallies like that. But this is again the thing which I don't really want to see, because such a rise, if we will see that right now, that it wouldn't be sustainable in my opinion. So if we'll like go to $8,000, I wouldn't be surprised if we'll go to 5,000 after that within like a weeks. So what I would like to see here is, I would like to have this minimum, this level to be the bottom, local bottom, and then we will have the new rise maybe from even within couple of weeks from now to new local high, and ideally it will be like $6,600 to $700. If we will break that level, which you see, this 6,800. We tested several times, 1, 2, 3 times. If we do that, then it would be great, and it would mean that we will probably, and of course, hold above that. Then it will be a very bullish sign, but preferably we will just stay above that without making huge rise, so altcoins can make moves and so on. Globally also, if we look at the chart for like few months, I would say we had a lot of those triangles before, right? And if we plotted them like for these two peaks, for example, and then it was broken. Then we plotted like this, and it like stay there, but then plotted like this, it was broken. I would say we can draw those triangles forever. And the most reliable thing, except those triangles which are not reliable, whatsoever, the most reliable thing is those minimums. So you see, I would call that this was actually in the same line as the all other minimums, minima, and this one was like, what is 5,800, and then this was a bit higher, this was a bit higher, this was just like a fake, well, I wouldn't say a fake, this was a fake, it didn't reach this minimum it should be. So, and all of them are a bit higher except for this one, which I already said, but I wouldn't consider it this just an exception. So all of them are a bit higher. In fact, the current one still has a room to reach something like maybe 6,240 or something like that. Still will be above that, and like would be just within this blue triangle. And after that we can see a new rise, and before after that we can have just a bit higher local minimum, maybe above this apex point. That will be really great. So that's my overall sentiment. I would hope we can see that, but again, if it wouldn't have happened and we'll see like the massive drop, I wouldn't expect it to last long. I think that would be the great opportunity to buy both altcoins and Bitcoin and just enjoy profits within the next few months. Speaking about altcoins, I was going just to mention one of them because a lot of them are in the green and those are in the red, and just one of them which I was mentioning several times before is Quark Chain. And we drew these lines, you remember this one, this channel, and this one somewhere around maybe even here in October. And surprisingly, not, well, I don't know surprisingly or not, but we saw that bounce of this level, trend line, which was on very high volume actually around here, and it sustained above that and go even higher. A little bit too sharp in my opinion, but still maybe we will see some similar formation now, and if we'll break above this level and stay above that, it will be great. In any case, overall it seemed to be very promising, because even if you like plot this sort of channel here, like this, we can bounce from that, but still it's very nice rising channel, and the bounces of those support line is very strong and convincing, I would say. So the next after we will break, if we'll break and hold this level, well, like 1,000 satoshis, then the next one will be somewhere around here, I think, maybe 1,500. And if we'll stay above that, then you see how far we can go. It's just sky is the limit. Also, you can like plot Elliott waves or something. You see ABC, whatever. A lot of people will do that, I would expect, but I'm not really into this theory, so I just think that we'll continue to make some corrections on the way up to 1,000 at least for a while, and 1,500. And if we'll not see the dramatic drop from that, if this rise will sustain, then I will continue to be very bullish on Quark Chain. And now just a couple of words I was going to mention about the general trends. For example, there are some estimations of the price until the end of 2018, and there are like bearish versions, bullish versions from $800 to $12,000. But I would say most of the people are like conservative, estimation with like $7,000 or a little bit below $8,000, $6,000, so 6 to 7 to 7,500, and this is pretty how to say, conservative position, right? So those estimations are based on the fact that the stable behavior, low liquidity will sustain and will continue and will just slightly increase in price for a while, and probably the next month will be at least no dramatic drop in price, but just steady, slow, steady, but sustainable growth, and that's really great. That's what I would like to see. And even if the events in December, like backed or possibly crazy run up from ETF wouldn't approval, if it will be approved, wouldn't happen, then whatever, if will not go below 6,000, it's still a very bullish scenario in my opinion, relatively long term. So if Bitcoin will reach $1 million in 2 years or something like that, I will be happier than if it will reach $10,000 in the end of 2018. That is my standpoint. But like again, globally, for example, Shift CEO Eric Voorhees say that you see the global depth of huge economies in the world, like United States, $20 trillion. So it is not sustainable. It's also sort of a bubble, and it will pop eventually. So where the capital go? What could happen? And what is the safe haven for this? And it says that crypto may be a solution for that, and eventually when this will happen, then the global crisis will be, and a lot of people agree with that, then it will be some ways to run away from that, and one of them is crypto is for sure, regardless of how huge share of the market will get, it still will boost the price dramatically. Like I wouldn't say crazy, but is $1 million crazy? I think it's not. I think it's a conservative position for Bitcoin, as many people say. We'll see guys. But anyway, long-term bullish. Use your stop orders. Don't forget that everything which I say is my personal opinion, not financial advice. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I hope to see you tomorrow in the new update. Safe trading, guys. Goodbye.